Welcome to Hamilton County TV and welcome to the Gilbert Show. Welcome. Coach.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hi, Perry.
You kind of like that Coach Gilbert Show, right?
It's growing on me. I didn't even know that's what we were calling it the first 2 or 3 weeks, but yeah, it's growing on me.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you got a Hoosier Crossroad Conference win on Friday night, and it was actually, I would describe the game as a game of big plays, really. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about
that. First of all, I just thought we were extremely well prepared. I thought our coaching staff did a great job. I was so happy with that. I thought our guys knew what to do, and then our guys were ready to play. So I was excited about that for sure. The big plays, we essentially blocked the first punt. It was kind of a mishandled snap by Noblesville, so that was a huge play in the game, and we scored one play later. So the game could not have started any better for us. I believe in fast starts. I think there's a stat out there. If you score first, you have a great percentage of chance to win. If you block a punt, you have a great percentage chance to win. So for us to start that way, that's you can't start much better. So we didn't run a ton of plays, but we were maybe as explosive as we've been offensively in my whole time here. We had 24% of our plays went for 15 yards or more, and when you consider a lot of your plays are inside the 15-yard line, and a lot of your plays you're trying to run out the clock at the end, you're not necessarily even trying to get a 15-yard play. So for about 1 out of every 4 plays to go for a huge chunk, that's good offense. So I was really excited about the explosiveness of our offense.
Yeah, because in this game, when you sit here and you look at the stats, and you only ran 32 offensive plays.
Yeah.
Noblesville ran 59. They had the ball 31 minutes, and you had the ball around 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you think, when you have those two, things that, you never know what's going to happen.
Sure.
But big plays was and I thought in the situation, and we talked about it the week before, the offense that Noblesville plays, not many teams do. You don't see it very often, so it's hard to even simulate in practice. But I thought you guys played a great defensive game.
Yeah, I was really happy. We gave up a score, but we gave up a 15-yard face mask on that drive, and we were able to get a couple takeaways, and then we gave up another score at the very end. Where we busted with some guys in the game that did the wrong thing. But I was happy with the effort and toughness. You have to be so tough to play that offense.
Yeah.
And we were down a couple D linemen, and we were just really concerned. But I was proud of our kids and our effort and just the toughness and the focus it takes. It's certainly... It requires a physical toughness, but it requires a mental toughness.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're doing everything you can. You feel like you're doing what's right, and they still gain 4 yards, and then they gain another 4 yards, and it's just different philosophies. So they doubled us in time of possession. So to play defense against that team, you're out there the whole time. So obviously we have a different philosophy, but it's taxing on your defense to play against those guys. It not only requires this physical toughness to get in and stop the run against those huge linemen, but the mental toughness to stay focused, play after play after play. Even if they've gotten 3 first downs, now you got to stop them now, and I was happy with our guys.
Yeah, and the amazing thing, and I think this stat kind of describes the whole thing, is you had 10 defensive players that had a total of 10 tackles or more, and 2 more that had 8.
Well,
so that's something that you don't normally get that kind of numbers in a ball game.
Well, I think they had run 49 plays by halftime or something. We had plenty of opportunities.
Sure,
for sure.
The stats were a lot different than we normally see.
Sure,
so.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about, because this week is a big game as you travel to Hamilton Southeastern, and Southeastern come off the Mud Sock game, which the whole state of Indiana knows that Mud Sock game between those two is a huge game.
Yeah, Southeastern's excellent. I think they're well coached. Mike Kelly is a good football coach, great guy, great coach. So We're going to get a well-coached team. They're 4-0. They're confident. They've beaten 2 MIC teams. They smoked their rival. Their confidence is probably as high as it's been in a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, they have, from looking at the information at the beginning of the year, they have 7 starters returning on both sides of the ball.
Sure.
Plus, they had some transfer ends that has also played at other places.
Yeah, life's good over there for Coach Kelly.
Yeah, he's doing a wonderful job. But you're going to go back to seeing a typical pro formation attack with them, and a couple good running backs. You know, Wirtz is a good.
Yeah, 2 years ago, Wirtz ran for a lot of yards against us, so he's not a stranger. He had not played that season. His opener was against us, so we were unprepared, and he was outstanding. Last year, he had been banged up a little bit, and we maybe did a little bit better job, but I think he's really good. And they're blocking people. They've got good pieces. You know, the backup tailback is good. Both quarterbacks are good. You know, I think Jacobs can run the ball. So they can run the ball. They ran for like 450 last week against Fishers. Their wide receivers have good size. They just maybe haven't needed to pass. So I'm not pretending that they can't pass. I'm saying maybe they haven't needed to pass because no one's stopped their run yet. So they're an excellent football team. I think they're great on defense. They fly to the ball. They've got a great DN, they're great inside backer, outside backer, corner who has some picks. They've got quality players at each level. So you can't avoid all those guys. You know, at some point you're going to block somebody. So they're really good.
Yeah, and they play that 3-4 defense most of the time, but I think one of the things that, you know, it was definitely in your game with Noblesville, it was good to see Westerstrom back in the lineup, and he made some big plays for you.
Made a huge difference. You know, on our offense, you have to have an explosive player at that X position, the split end, to make explosive plays. And so he's our best receiver. We haven't had him this whole season. He got hurt in the first series against Cathedral, so we just really haven't had him. But, man, what a difference. So he caught 3 or 4 passes, had over 100 yards receiving, 1 touchdown, 1 inside to 3. I mean, he certainly willed us to some points. So with him healthy, we're going to be hard to defend for sure. And so what a welcome sight to have him back.
Yeah, because you get that passing game going, and I thought Hatchett had an outstanding football game.
Yeah, Trayvon had 4 carries, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
One was about an 80-yarder, so he showed some speed there and the ability to get outside and not get caught. Yeah. And then the other 2 runs were good inside-type runs in the red zone. Micah got hit in the funny bone, had to come out, and Trayvon, he ran it tough in there. So he plays every play on defense, and so does Micah. So the ability to play both of those guys on offense, that's good for our football team.
I think one of the things I made a comment on the air that everyone that was scoring touchdowns early on, their name started with an H, because Hauser and Hatchett. It was really
they took the lion's share of them. I think we maybe threw one. I don't think Maximus ran one this game, but Hauser and Hatchett, that was a good combination.
But you know, the one thing about it is that the one thing with Maximus, you know he can run the football.
Absolutely.
But you know, some of the game. Well, I know one game, you know, because you were a little short as his backup, you didn't run the ball much. And then his last game, he really didn't have to run the ball.
Sure. We were pretty effective with Micah and Trayvon and throwing the ball. Maximus was 7-9 throwing the ball. We just felt like the O-line was protecting really well. So we did not feel like we had to run him as much. We're willing to run our Qs here. We think that's good offense, but we just didn't last game as much.
Yeah. And the one thing about, you know, and with Maximus Webster, his passing percentage is very, very good this season.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
it's pretty high.
Yeah, he completed 74% last year, which is, I mean, if you're 3 out of 4 completions when you factor in drops and pressures and things like that. So maybe he can break his own school record this year. That
Yeah,
would be
but
good.
the one thing about it, I thought last year compared to this year is, just like this team, okay, people know who you are now.
Sure.
Last year, early in the season,
Yeah,
no one knew who Maximus Webster
Sure.
was, really, okay? And then he just kept getting better and better and better, and it's
Yeah.
the same way with this team.
we played 2 quarterbacks through the Hamilton Southeastern
Yes, you
game,
did.
so we actually didn't go with Maximus only until after this week last
Yeah.
year. And he still had that great season,
Yeah.
but we used 2 quarterbacks through, 5 weeks to make sure that we were evaluating it right and giving everybody who deserved a chance to play, and so forth and so on.
Well, cool. Well, thanks a lot, Coach. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a pretty busy schedule today here, and I appreciate you taking time out, and good luck at Southeastern, and we'll be here, Hamilton County TV will be here, homecoming with
Great.
Brownsburg to broadcast. We had a ball last week, Jack Russell and I, broadcasting a game, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great couple weeks for Rocks football. Couple huge challenges, conference implications. So Hamilton Southeastern Westfield will be a great football game. So tune in. Thanks.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Go Rocks.